Hello again. Man, greetings once again from my underground lair. It's getting brighter and brighter. The day must be getting later. Anyway, on to one of the most important battles in American history. So, again, just a little bit of review. One of the things that prompted this second invasion of the North was the Army of Northern Virginia's victory at Chancellorsville and Fredericksburg. Those two key Confederate victories, Union defeats, gave Lee the idea that maybe he should invade the North one more time, defeat the Union Army on its own ground, and if they can do that, they can force the Union to sue for peace and essentially, surrender. Admit that the Confederate States had a right to secede in the first place. So they invade the North. They get into the state of Pennsylvania. They make a detour into the town of Pennsylvania to get shoes. So essentially, this whole battle really keyed off because of shoes. And it started off as a battle between smaller units. In this area, right up here, above the town of Gettysburg, some Union cavalry, some soldiers mounted on horseback, were up here defending the area. But now Lee's army thought that this is basically, the rest of the Union Army was not far behind its little cavalry units. So the Confederate Army started to bunch together and they attacked. They came south and they pushed the Union soldiers through the town. And then as the day wore on, more and more Union soldiers and more Confederate soldiers started pouring into this area. And eventually, the Union soldiers were up on this giant hill called Cemetery Ridge, because there was an old cemetery here. And the Confederate forces could have taken that hill on the first day of the battle, but they held back because the commanding general over here in this area didn't think it was practical to take the hill. That turned out to be a deadly mistake because as the Union Army dug in and entrenched, the Confederate Army was forced to surround it. The Union Army was up on a hill. The Confederate Army was down in the lower ground. So in order for the Confederate Army to attack, they had to come down off of their little hill and come across open ground and attack them. Or they had to come up over these little hills and try to get at the enemy's flank or the sides. So there's all these different options that the Confederates could take, but none of them good, because now the situations were reversed. This is like Fredericksburg all over again, except the Union is the army that has the stone wall. The Union Army is the one that has the good ground. And having good ground is key in this type of battle. So the Union Army is positioned right here in this fish hook. The first day of fighting goes for the Confederates. They surround the Union, but they fail to take Cemetery Ridge. They fail to take this hill. So the Confederates are forced to surround. So on the second day of battle, the Confederates have a clever idea. They say, okay, we're going to sweep around here. We're going to take this hill right over here called Little Round Top and just roll up the entire Union Army. But that fails because of an enterprising colonel who decides to do a bayonet charge and pushes the Confederates off the hill. Then Lee comes up with another idea. He thinks that because so much of the attacking has been focused on this side and this side, that the center is weak. So he commands his General Pickett to charge right in the middle. And that proves to be a death sentence for about 10,000 or about 10,000 soldiers, because they charge and they just get cut to pieces up here. They get a little bit through, but they just get cut to pieces. And by day 3, the Confederate Army has to pull out one of their worst defeats in the entire Civil War. And it paves the way for a Union victory. See you next time.